signed up to a brilliant new career. Tragically, it wasn't to last. In his first season, a hard tackle by a player from an opposing team broke Jeff's leg so badly that his footballing career was over almost before it had begun. He'd run out of options. He had no choice but to return home and, when his leg had healed, back to the pits, to hack at the coal with his pickaxe. But he'd glimpsed the possibilities of life far beyond the mining towns, and he vowed he'd do everything within his power to make sure his kids weren't trapped like he'd been. He and his wife, Elsie, wanted a big family, and their first son, little Jeff, was born on the 5th of May 1953, followed by their second son, David, on the 1st of June 1955. Then the birth of third child, Fiona Melanie, on the 1st of February 1958, was a shock. "When I had her, I had no pain at all," says Elsie. "It was so strange. She just came out. The nurse said she'd never seen a birth like it. It was very peculiar. I really sensed that she was different, and I told the nurse she was going to be famous, this girl. I had the strangest feeling about her. She was just so different to her brothers. She started walking earlier than the others, at 8 months, and at 9 months was the flower girl at her aunt's wedding. She managed it all beautifully." 4.5 years later, Fiona's baby sister, Nicola, arrived on the 31st of August 1962. "But that was a normal birth, like with my sons," says Elsie. "And those three were similar, but Fiona was very different to them all. She was a very, very easy baby, and never made a fuss about anything. And even as she grew, she was different from everyone around her. She was always very clean and organised, never got messy with chocolate or anything like that, and knew exactly what she wanted, even as a small child." The family lived in a tiny, pit-owned 2-story, 3-bedroom brown brick terrace house in the middle of a row in the small market town of South Elmsall, close to the head of Frickley Colliery, one of the most famous mines in the world. It had been sunk in 1903 with the largest pit shaft in Europe, and when digging reached the highest grade Barnsley coal seam 2 years later, it was the deepest in Britain at 661 feet, 201 metres. Another pit close by, the South Elmsall Colliery, was opened in 1917, and for a while the area was nicknamed El Dorado. To many of those toiling there, it didn't feel golden. Jeff, in particular, a tall, strong man over 6 foot tall, with wide, powerful shoulders, cursed every single shift he had to spend down the mine. But at the end of the day, he was nothing if not a team player. He threw himself into the life of the village and the colliery, and was popular among all the other men. He was even the star of the local team that entered the annual coal shovelling championships, where competitors from all the mining towns in Britain had to fill an industrial skip with coal in the fastest time. His team excelled and ended up winning the European Coal Filling Championships in the late 1950s. The Carlton Main Colliery Company, as the area's single most important employer, had a responsibility to look after its employees, and built the local hospital, chiefly to treat workers who'd been injured in mining accidents, a swimming pool and a sports ground, and founded teams such as the Frickley Colliery Football Club, which later became the famed Frickley Athletic FC, and the Frickley Cricket Club, both as part of the Frickley Athletic Club. By the time Fiona was born, at the Archbishop Holgate Hospital in Hemsworth, just under 10 kilometres from South Elmsall, the region was in its prime, with lots of relatively well-paid mining jobs, shops and pubs sustained by the industry, and a strong, tight-knit sense of community. People were born in their individual towns and villages, lived there all their lives and died there, and didn't even consider anything else. "My uncle, Dad's older brother Cyril, had never left his village," Fiona says. He said